So Steve Cunningham defeats Amir Mansour with a 10-round unanimous decision in a very exciting, action-packed and dramatic heavyweight fight. Steve Cunningham was, I would say, outboxing Mansour for the most part in the first 4 rounds. I thought Mansour, maybe you could have given Mansour maybe 1 or 2 of the first couple rounds, but I thought Steve Cunningham probably won 3 of the first 4 rounds, but that's debatable, right? They were close. Mansour did start fast and land some good shots, but then there was a dramatic moment in the 5th where Mansour seemed to be falling behind. Steve seemed to be outboxing him a little bit, but Mansour made a breakthrough and landed some tremendous hooks which got through clean on Steve Cunningham, and the fight looked over. Cunningham was lucky that those shots landed so close to the bell, because Cunningham went down hard from the first knockdown, got back up very unsteady. Mansour went at him again and Cunningham went down again, got up, but there was only a few seconds until the bell, so Mansour didn't manage to capitalize. Then in the next round, Cunningham just moved around, tried to clear his head, and Mansour basically gassed out. He's a very thickly set guy, tremendously muscled, and he gassed out, and he allowed Steve Cunningham to just outbox him for the rest of the fight. And Mansour never really enjoyed that much success from the 6th or 7th round on. It was pretty much a Steve Cunningham fight, and Cunningham didn't look especially impressive. He obviously showed a lot of heart recovering from those knockdowns. He didn't look especially impressive. I think he stayed in the pocket a little bit too long with Mansour. Mansour is tremendously powerful up close, fights with a tremendous amount of intensity. He's got that Mike Tyson intensity when he fights. The difference between someone like Mansour, well, one of the differences between someone like Mansour and Tyson in terms of their intensity, is that Tyson's aggression was controlled aggression, whereas Mansour looks much more wild than Tyson. Certainly in this fight, he was very wild, and he wasn't controlling his aggression and channeling it properly into his punches. His technique was all over the place, throwing wide hooks all over the place. You know, you want to keep the shots nice and short and crisp, and you want to unload with those fast, furious combinations at a select moment. You don't just want to do it randomly all the time, because that gives your opponent opportunities to counter, and not only that, it also tires you out. So Mansour was just way too wild and not controlled enough. There wasn't enough structure to his boxing. I could see what he was trying to do. He was just basically trying to overpower Steve Cunningham, but he needed more structure in his boxing to be able to do it successfully, and he just didn't have that. So I think hardcore is a very appropriate name for Mansour, because he's got a hardcore mentality, but he needs more structure in his boxing. He needs to calm it down a little bit and, you know, utilize that aggression and that intensity at the right moments. Don't just try and do it, you know, for 3 minutes every single round, because he was just way too wild in there. And like I say, Cunningham was able to capitalize. But if you ain't seen the fight, make sure you check it out. It was a very good fight, very entertaining. And as for where these fighters can go from here, I'd like to see Mansour again. He's an entertaining heavyweight. He fights with a tremendous amount of heart and passion. And by the way, Cunningham did drop Mansour in the 10th round, but Mansour wasn't really hurt. He was kind of moving backwards, trying to get away from Steve Cunningham's punches, and Cunningham was hitting him, but he pretty much just tripped over out of fatigue. He wasn't hurt or anything like that. He got up, and he was pretty disappointed that the referee called it a knockdown, because right at the beginning of the 10th round, Cunningham was actually down. I haven't seen a replay of the knockdown, you know, to know whether it was a true knockdown or not, but he didn't call it a knockdown. You know, Steve Cunningham was able to get up, and the referee just wiped his gloves off and let him continue. So I don't know how much difference that would have made if they called it a knockdown on the scorecard. I don't think it would have made too much difference, but you know, nonetheless, I thought it was you know, very entertaining fight. And Mansour can come again, but he just needs to control that aggression a bit better, you know, and keep his form and hold his technique a bit better than he did. But he's 42 years old, so you have to wonder if you can really teach an old dog new tricks. And as for Cunningham, well, you never know, man. You got Klitschko out there, you know, Vladimir Klitschko, and he may look at Steve Cunningham as a potential voluntary defense. That's possible. So yeah, hit me up in the comment section. Let me know how you felt about this fight, if you saw it, and where do you think both of these fighters can go from here. Yeah, this is Hatman. I'm out.